There is a specific category of fragrances in my collection that I wear specifically when I'm in a bad mood. Because when I'm in a bad mood, whether it be physically not feeling my greatest or external factors that I can't control, if I'm in a bad mood, sometimes the fragrances that are sweet, gourmands, fragrances like that just make me feel nauseated inside, and I need something that gets me right. I need something that is a little bit darker, is a little bit standoffish, maybe even like kind of, yeah, maybe even a little bit gothic when it comes to my fragrances. And I have 5 fragrances to share today that happen to slot into that category. These are fragrances that I wear when I'm not feeling my greatest because they get me going. They get me feeling like I am a little bit better in terms of my mood, and they just provide me with this dark feminine blanket that I'm able to kind of put on myself to make myself feel better. And that's how my mind works. I don't know if any of you can relate, but I was looking through my collection and I came across these fragrances, and I was thinking, well, we're about to enter the fall time. Some of these fragrances could very well also be well suited for the fall, even though I've been wearing these fragrances a lot recently. Take that what you will, but basically this is gonna be the video today. But if this is your first time watching this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances. I talk about them here 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. I also publish additional content on TikTok and Instagram under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. So if you're interested in that, you can follow me on those social media platforms. And if you also love fragrance history, I have a podcast. It's called The Fragrance Report, where every single week we focus on a different period of fragrance history. So if that is of interest to you, definitely do check out the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. We launch a new episode every Wednesday. And if you're someone who wants to be a little bit more mindful about what's in your collection, if you want a better way to track your fragrance samples, decants, and full bottles, and even track your spending, I have just a solution for you. It's a spreadsheet that I call my fragrance collection log and expense tracker. It's available in my stand store for you to download. So with that being said, yes, we're all human beings. We're not always going to feel positive all the time. And I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but like, let's just say I'm not having the best day. Having a super sweet gourmand vanilla fragrance is just gonna make me feel worse. It's gonna make me feel like at like disconnected from myself. And I like to go for fragrances that have a bit of a darker scent profile because it makes me feel tougher inside, and it makes me feel like I can take whatever I'm feeling or whatever I'm experiencing and kind of face it more head on. So in a way, these are fragrances that very much push me, they motivate me, they inspire me, and they make me feel strong inside. And that's what I love about fragrances, because you can choose a different scent depending on your mood. If you're feeling cozy and feminine and soft, you can choose a fragrance for that. If you're feeling tough, if you feel dark feminine, you can choose a fragrance for that. If you're feeling seductive, you can choose a fragrance that works for you. And that's what I love about perfume, and that's just something that I tend to experience a lot when it comes to fragrances. I tend to match my fragrances to my mood. So with that being said, I'm excited about this selection. I feel like all these fragrances are very good, and they also happen to be well suited, in my opinion, for the slightly colder weather as we move into fall. So there are multiple purposes for these fragrances. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to begin with the fragrance that I'm wearing today. I spray this on liberally, and you can see by the dent that I very much adore this fragrance. This is Marusia by Slava Zaitsev. This is a 90s era fragrance, and it is a fragrance that's also available on Amazon for like pennies, like $13-12. It's really affordable. And if you love aldehydes, if you love animalic fragrances, if you love like sandalwood with like yellow florals, if that's something that you find nostalgic and interesting, this is a really good option because it's an airier version of those notes and accords that I just mentioned, and it still has a certain darkness to it, but the aldehydes give it a certain airiness that makes it very versatile. So let's get into the notes. So this fragrance was actually launched in 1992, so it's been around for a long time. So like I said, we have notes of aldehydes, orange blossom, peach, and bergamot at the top, a mid of carnation, ylang ylang, tuberose, heliotrope, iris, jasmine, rose, orchid, and lily of the valley, and then a base of civet, sandalwood, amber, benzoin, vanilla, musk, tonka bean, and cedar. I feel like it's necessary to provide a disclaimer here. If you heard me say peach and you're thinking this is going to be a modern peach gourmand fragrance, no, get that out of your head. This is a spicy sandalwood animalic fragrance with aldehydes. aldehydes. If that sounds like it might be intimidating for you, I would maybe proceed with caution, but if that's a scent profile you're curious about trying, if you would like to kind of like open up your aperture a little bit when it comes to fragrances and you want to try something that's a little bit more unique and a little bit different, try this. It's really good. And in my opinion, this is not a fragrance that I would wear every day because it is a bit more of a unique smell. This is a fragrance that I only wear for myself. It's a fragrance that I wear when I want to feel a little bit stronger. It's a fragrance that I crave. It's a fragrance I wear. I wore it today and I just genuinely enjoy it because it's bright and it's airy with those aldehydes, but it still has that animalic undertone, which I tend to really appreciate from time to time. So this is also going to be a good first fragrance to try in this category because it's so inexpensive. So if you're curious about categories like this and you want to try a fragrance that's a little bit more aldehydic, animalic, spicy sandalwood, yellow florals, then this is going to be one for you to check out because it's not that much money. It's only $12 or $13. So try it out, see how you like it, but rest assured this is not going to be like your typical fragrance. If you like number 5, you will like this. If you don't like number 5 by Chanel, you might want to stay clear of this, but I wore this today. I love it. It's, in my opinion, really comforting and really delicious. And for me, like, I just wear it when I want to feel, again, dark feminine, when I want to feel a little bit more standoffish, a little bit more assured. And then I decided to layer that fragrance, as I often do, with this perfume by Elizabeth Taylor. This is called Passion. This is another one of those kind of like powdery, balsamic, sandalwood scents with an animalic touch. But this is a little bit less aldehydic and it still functions like a similar way. Marussia is more airy. Passion is a bit more like grounded, spicy sandalwood. I love wearing these together. It's such a winning combination. So I sprayed a lot of Marussia, but I sprayed like only about 2 or 3 sprays of Passion. These are not fragrances I would suggest wearing to the office, for instance, or to a date. These are fragrances that I would be a bit more cautious with because I can see a lot of people having polarizing reactions to scents like these. But again, I wear these perfumes for me. So let's get into the notes for Passion. So Passion was launched in 1988 and it's a woody, powdery, animalic fragrance with notes of aldehydes, coriander, gardenia, artemisia, ylang ylang, bergamot, and lily of the valley at the top, amid of spicy notes, sandalwood, honey, tuberose, patchouli, heliotrope, orris root, cedar, jasmine, and rose, and then a base of incense, civet, leather, oak moss, sandalwood, musk, cedar, vanilla, and coconut. So again, you might have seen some more traditionally gourmand notes here, but let me tell you, this is primarily going to be a spicy animalic fragrance with some aldehydes, but it's dark, it's very it's intense, it's very unique smelling. So like, I love this, I adore this fragrance. It's a mainstay in my collection, as is Marussia, but again, this is for those of you who like Chanel number 5. That's an easy tell, I feel like, because Chanel number 5 is like available everywhere, right? So if you've smelled Chanel number 5 and you hate it, then you might need to like hold off on getting those fragrances. But if you smell Chanel number 5 and you're like, wow, this smells intriguing, I like it, then open up your repertoire a little bit. So anyway, next up we have, let's try something that's a little bit brighter. Okay, this is going to be something that's like a little bit more positive. It's a little bit more uplifting. This fragrance has notes in here that are a little bit more aromatic, soft, spicy, but it also has a bit of sweetness to it. But as I mentioned earlier in this video, sometimes like when I'm feeling like a certain way, I don't want to go for anything that's like traditionally gourmand. But what's nice about this is that it has like a sweetness to it, but it's not like a gourmand fragrance. You know what I mean? This is from the different company and it's called Dance of the Dawn. I find this to be a really interesting perfume because it has pink pepper in it. I believe it has rose, black pepper. It's like a soft, spicy fragrance, but it has like a patchouli in there that really adds a bit of like kind of earthiness to this perfume, but it's not overt. This is kind of like a clean patchouli. So let's get into the notes. My hair right now is just bugging me and driving me crazy. Okay, so Dance of the Dawn, let's check it out. All right, so this is pink pepper, black pepper, and mandarin orange at the top, amid of patchouli, driftwood, incense, and iris, and then a base of vanilla. So like I said, this is a clean, spicy, it's nice. It's very modern. It's modern. The pink pepper in here adds like that sweetness. But if you love iris, if you love yourself a clean patchouli, if you love woody fragrances, this is a really good one. I really like it a lot. So Dance with the Dawn by the Different Company. I do have a code with the Different Company. It's Anya 10, and they did send this bottle to me. So if you want to get a discount, you can use that affiliate code. Moving on to something that this is like one of those fragrances that I would recommend to mostly men, but if you guys know me, you know that I tend to wear fragrances across all different categories. So I often wear fragrances that might be traditionally marketed towards a masculine preference. And this is like one of those fragrances that to me is ultra woody, ultra vetiver focused. And if a guy wore this, like it would be chef's kiss beautiful. But I wear this whenever I want to feel a bit more tough, whenever I want to feel a little bit more, like I said, self-assured. This is like one of those like I guess I have mood fragrances. It sounds like such a negative video, but like look, we're all human beings, right? We all have our ups and downs, and that's just a fact of life. You can't really avoid it. And sometimes if as a fragrance obsessed person, I pair fragrances depending on my mood. So there you go. But this is Encre Noire à l'Extrême by Lalique. Encre Noire à l'Extrême. Okay. This is a fragrance that I use a lot, as you can probably tell. Let's get into the notes. So this is cypress, elmi, resin, and bergamot at the top, amid of Haitian vetiver, incense, and orris, and then a base of benzoin, sandalwood, and patchouli. There's a lot of patchouli in this video. That's lovely. It's a sweet, resinous, woody fragrance with that vetiver, and of course some like kind of clean smelling aromatic patchouli at the base. This is for those of you who love vetiver. If you love vetiver, I would try this fragrance out. It's a really intriguing one. It's quite beautiful. It's sweet, but it's not gourmand. It's like a sweet, woody, resinous fragrance. So Encre Noire à l'Extrême. You can also get this for a pretty affordable price. Definitely under $50 for sure. But yeah, I enjoy it. This is a mainstay in my collection for sure. And it's just like one of those perfumes that I put it on, and no matter how I'm feeling, like I'm never like feeling worse when I wear it. You know what I mean? And I oftentimes, like sometimes like when I'm having like, for example, like a long day of meetings, like at work, if I'm like working from home and I'm just like, I just need to like stay locked in, I will, spray on some of these fragrances repeatedly throughout the day to kind of like get me into the right headspace where I'm like, okay, I'm focused, I can do this. These are kinds of like motivational fragrances for me, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's odd or not, but this next one is dark, gothic, rose. Again, we have a little bit of vetiver here. This is from Elizabeth and James. This is called Nirvana Rose. This is my favorite Nirvana fragrance that I have tried. I have not tried Nirvana Black or Nirvana White, but I've tried all the other ones, and I've tried a few. I haven't tried all the other ones, but anyway, this is dark, gothic, cathedral. There's a bit of brightness to it, regardless. It's supposed to look like a cigarette case, the bottle. And I love this. This, for me, is a little bit nostalgic because this is the fragrance that I wore the first 2 times I was in Paris. And when I was in Paris those times, I was there in the springtime, a little bit closer to the winter though, and it was rainy, it was a little bit colder, and I wore this fragrance, and to me, this is kind of like synonymous like with that like kind of like tragic artistic side of Paris, like smoking, dark, moody, slightly gothic, like think the Notre Dame Cathedral or Saint Chapelle, even though Saint Chapelle isn't necessarily dark. You get my drift. This is gothic, it's old world, it's beautiful. Let me show you the notes. This fragrance has notes of May, Rose, Vetiver, and Geranium. So simple scent profile. Those are the 3 notes listed. It's almost like, I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to put a pink pepper in here that's not listed, because like this has like a similar brightness to Dance of the Dawn. It has a similar take on the rose. So these are kind of similar. Dance of the Dawn is more woody. This one is brighter and it focuses more on that rose and Vetiver. It is quite beautiful. I love this perfume so much. This is like my backup bottle. I have another bottle of this that I have because I adore this perfume. Yeah, it's definitely like one of those scent memory fragrances for me, but I also have been wearing this recently. It's just like kind of transitioned into like the fragrances in this video, which is basically like kind of dark, intense perfumes that I just wear when I need that like kind of cloak of self-assurance, so to speak. Anyway, that's it for this video. A little bit of a non-traditional one this time, but do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have any fragrances that you wear when you're not feeling your best that kind of like help you get into the right rhythm? Do let me know what you think, but regardless, thank you so much for watching till the end of this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.